2006 was just not a good year for the Fox network. They tried 7 different shows, and they all ended up failing in one way or another. With the exception of one of them, they all just vanished after one season, going into the void we all know as lost media. Barely anything can be found to even prove that they existed. Until one day, I came across a couple of screener DVDs. On them were the pilots to these 7 failures. The Wedding Album, Till Death, Happy Hour, Standoff, Vanished, The Winner, Justice. It's time to bring them back, folks. One by one, in no particular order, they're coming out of the void and getting a thorough examination. Strap in. This is gonna be a fun one. A lot of you probably know this about me by now, but I am not a fan of Seth MacFarlane. I will admit he's a talented actor most of the time, and he's a great singer, but when it comes to being a showrunner and especially a writer, I tend to not really like his work. When he has someone telling him what to do, like say on Johnny Bravo or Larry and Steve, he can be quite good. But say on his Fox sitcoms, when he's able to just run free and do whatever he wants, that's a different story. The characters always break just to fit some kind of joke, he cares more about offending you and upsetting you rather than making you laugh, and it seems like all of his shows are just the same. Knowing all of this, when I saw that one of his shows that he produced called The Winner was on this DVD set, I got scared. I thought this was going to be just like Happy Hour, where it's stilted, boring, and bad in just about every way. But lo and behold, I watch it, and I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but I can't see how this lasted only 6 episodes. This is a pretty decent show. And this was just the first season, of course. Had it been able to go on, I think it would have picked up. Real quick, I want to say that Seth MacFarlane was not the #1 guy behind this. He was just one of the producers and one of the biggest people in charge. However, it was created and primarily written by Ricky Blitt, the director of The 40-Year-Old Virgin. A movie I'm not a big fan of, but hey, I like his work here. What's The Winner about? It's about a winner named Glenn Abbott who remembers back when he was a loser in the prehistoric pastime year of 1994. Glenn Abbott is living with his parents and he has no life or prospects whatsoever. And because his mom overshelters him and pampers him, mentally, he's regressing to that of a middle schooler. His whole life revolves around TV and TV and TV. All he talks about is TV, all he understands is TV, all he makes a priority of is TV, and that has stunted his social life. Meaning that basically he has none. However, things start to change when this one girl he went on a single date with in high school moves back to town. Despite the fact that she thought basically nothing of their interaction, he thought that this meant they were destined to be, and that her moving back to his hometown means that this is official, they're gonna end up together. However, he knows that if he's a loser, he'll never get with her. So he seeks to better himself and finally become a winner, all while passing him off as still a winner and making sure that this girl doesn't understand that he's actually the world's biggest loser. Already it sounds like a pretty decent premise with a lot of creative opportunities, right? Well, that's exactly what happens in this pilot because, once again, this is the only episode I could find. The show seems to take a lot of inspiration from the Wonder Years, where it has this guy talking about his past, and he has all these weird inner monologues and the character's quirky and bizarre. Only this time, it's a lot more cynical, depressing, and overall pathetic, but it plays the patheticness for laughs, and for the most part, it gets it really well. I will say that the writing is kind of middle of the road, in the sense that if you just read the jokes on a script, you'd say, alright, that was pretty decent, or okay, I guess I could buy that, but the reason why these land so much is because of the cast. Glenn is played by Rob Corddry, who doesn't really appear in a lot of stuff that I like. He's definitely a very adult actor, and you know, that's not bad, it's those kind of adult movies like Hot Tub Time Machine. Here though, he plays Glenn very well. Yes, he's a loser, yes, he's pathetic, but he has this sense of, I can make it. I can totally be this hotshot billionaire even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing. If it wasn't him playing this character, the jokes would not be nearly as funny. He's always got energy and he's very believable as the character. And you know what? This is the same for all the others in the cast. The girl character is basically just that. She's recently divorced, she's got a bizarre kid, and that's pretty much it. But she's pretty gullible, in the sense that she'll believe pretty much anything Glenn says, mostly because he's putting a spin on it, making it look like he's better than he actually is. But it also seems like there's this air to her that, yeah, she kinda knows. But she's just trying to be nice and help this guy out. It kinda leaves it ambiguous, at least in the pilot, and I think that's a nice touch. The kid, again, is a typical sitcom, weird, bizarre kid, but you know what? I believe it. Sure, he's an archetype character, but I think the actor pulls him off very well. And I really believe the relationship that he and Glenn have together. Because yes, Glenn's an adult, but mentally, he's basically this kid. It's sad that he's been so stunted by his lack of experience in the outside world that the best hope he can have for a friend is this awkward preteen kid. They relate to each other pretty well and have some decent conversations. This also leads me to another facet about the Glenn character that I like. He's stupid, but he's very well-meaning and his stupidity never hurts anybody except himself. In fact, sometimes he even helps other people. This is especially huge because this comes from Seth MacFarlane. You've seen Seth MacFarlane's work, right? Peter Griffin, Cleveland Brown, Quagmire, they're all stupid, idiotic, and destroy everything around them. Have no sense of care for what's around them, that sort of stuff. Glenn is not like that. Perhaps because he was created by Ricky Blitt instead, but hey, Seth MacFarlane had a big hand in this, so we know this could have gone wrong very easily. Yes, this is a comedy show, but the characters are very important. They help carry the jokes, and like I said, without them, these jokes probably wouldn't land. As many nice things as I have to say about The Winner, there are some negative aspects. For one, the laugh track is just obnoxious. It never shuts up. This is Nickelodeon or Disney Channel style of laugh track where any time someone says something slightly quirky or bizarre or mildly interesting, a sound that's just like a bunch of hyenas explodes onto the screen and it just doesn't go away. It doesn't kill the jokes, but it certainly mutes them a lot. Those shows that use laugh tracks well don't use laugh tracks at all. But those who can somehow get away with it know how to use it sparingly and make it actually feel like there's an audience there. But no, this certainly doesn't. It's way overused. And the other thing I don't like about this show is, while most of the humor's good, quite a few times in this pilot there's a lot of those, hey, we're in the 90s jokes. This is where I can see a lot of Seth MacFarlane's fingerprints. It's basically, hey, remember Friends? Remember Columbo? Remember Bill Clinton? Those were all things in the 90s, remember? Huh? Remember? Please laugh. There's no real joke around them aside from the fact that they're mentioning them as if they were current. But in the show, they are current. It's 1994. That's the past equivalent of, say, a modern day comedian going up on stage and saying, hey, Modern Family. What's up with that show, am I right? Then that's the joke. It's not a joke, it's a reference. Reference is not joke. Joke can include reference, but reference is not joke. Though they aren't super prevalent, they do come up quite a few times, enough for it to be a bit of a problem, especially because this is the pilot and I don't think they had enough time to hammer all of this out before the show got to air. But what happened to this show? What made it fail so badly? Well, the history behind The Winner is a bit rocky and a little bit long, but I'll condense it. Ricky Blitt and Seth MacFarlane teamed up together in 2002 to make a pilot for this show, The Winner. It had an entirely different cast, but presumably the same script. They pitched it to Fox, and it was not picked up, so they kinda put it on the shelf for a little while. When Family Guy was brought back and the 40-Year-Old Virgin was a success, Fox decided to pick it up again in 2005, and all the episodes were ready to go in 2006, but Fox got cold feet. They decided to hold off and air it during mid-season. Mid-season is the dumping ground for all the shows you have no faith in. When a show gets canceled unexpectedly, they need something in mid-season to fill out their schedule. And this is what happened to The Winner. It got used as shovelware content. Shows very rarely succeed during mid-season, and The Winner was no exception. Not very much promotion or anything behind it, and the reviews were abysmal, mostly citing the laugh track as the biggest issue, though the writing was often attacked, which, again, I personally disagree with. Because of the negative reviews and lack of promotion, the ratings were terrible and it was canned, despite the fact Seth MacFarlane kept going out and saying, yes, The Winner's doing just fine, don't worry, the show's gonna come back and we're gonna have all these new episodes and there's gonna be a big bright future for it. No, it only had 6 episodes and 3 weeks in total on the air. How does that work, you may ask? It has 6 episodes but only 3 weeks? What, did they air 2 episodes back to back? Yes, they did. They clearly had no faith in the show and just shoveled all the episodes onto the schedule to get it over with. I don't think this has re-aired since. If it has, I can't find any surviving documentation to prove that. I think this was just, let's air it because we have it, and get it over with. The real reason that Fox got cold feet is never really been explained. I couldn't find it anywhere. My assumptions are that because Seth MacFarlane was so busy on Family Guy, they didn't want to distract him, or they just legitimately stopped enjoying the show and wanted to get out of their agreement. Either way, the winner was a very big surprise. I was dreading this one going in, but I found myself finding some interesting characters, some pretty decent writing, and an overall fun premise with a lot of potential. Sadly, the show was not long for this earth, and only the pilot can currently be found. By the way, if you want to watch the pilot, there's a link in the description. I'll also put the link to Happy Hour down there too, because as I review these, I'll be posting the episodes up online for you guys to watch. After all, these things basically don't survive anywhere else on the internet anyways. Might as well bring them back to life. Who knows? Maybe someone who actually has these episodes stored will catch wind of this and post them. And then I could do a full review of the entire show of the winner. All other 5 episodes. So the winner may be lost and somewhat forgotten, but in my opinion, it totally does not deserve this fate. Check it out. Odds are, you'll be pleasantly surprised. So guys, that was my review of The Winner. What'd you think of the video? If you've seen the pilot, what'd you think of it? Where do you think these other episodes are? Comment below and let me know, because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Happy Hour made me a fair bit nervous. That was not a good one to start off with, but hey, we're picking right up. Alright folks, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.